inside the gates now. That took a while. And there's several school groups here, but I guess that's just common this time of year. Something that I guess it doesn't seem common to me because of where I'm from. That just doesn't happen. You're in school every day of school. You never go to amusement parks. And my strategy nowadays is to do the kiddie coaster first. Make sure that I'm allowed to ride it. Don't want to waste time in line if I wouldn't be allowed to ride. And also, while there's no line, not taking a spot away from any kids. So that's a good way to do it. A decent kiddie coaster. Had a couple jerky moments towards the end there. You get to go around 3 times. That was the only one on the train. Wild One is up next. Ragin' Cajun was closed, so the Wild Mouse. So doesn't look like they're working on anything either, so I'm guessing it'll be closed all day. I'm glad this one's open. This was kind of originally in 1917, as you can see on the sign there. That was the original. It was redesigned after a fire and relocated to here in 1986. It used to be in Paragon Park in Massachusetts, which is no longer in existence. Sort of a 1917 original. I'm not sure how much from the original is left. And from what I read online, it even said redesigned, so I'm wondering if the elements are the same. If not, I'm sure it's similar, and I don't know why the music got very, very loud all of a sudden. I've ridden it once in the front, once in the back. The front row ride was definitely much better. 1985 it was purchased, and so then opened here in 1986. On the return trip in the front row, there is at least one insane ejector airtime moment. Like, it hurt. It was so powerful. I actually couldn't keep my arms up, partially because it was a little rough, but also because the airtime was so powerful. Okay, now that hurts. This is not good at all. I like the vertical loop. That's about all I can say about it. I wish it were still a stand-up coaster. I think it might ride better as a stand-up. Somewhere around here, I think after the mid-course with no brakes. Maybe after the corkscrew, I don't know. There's somewhere in there it had a major headbanging moment. Like, I mean, your head is just pinballing back and forth. It is awful. Even doing my thing where I kept my head as far forward as possible, I still got my ears smashed. And those head restraints are rock hard. Those are probably the hardest head restraints I've ever had on a roller coaster. So, yeah, pretty bad. So even when your head's not pinballing around, it was still very rattly. The fire effects were working. Now that was cool. Just rode Joker's Jinx. That was definitely great. Now, in comparison to Poltergeist at Fiesta, Texas, the difference here, you do launch under a covering, but Poltergeist launches out of a house. And Poltergeist also, you get a view of the spaghetti bowl structure. With this, you do not see the spaghetti bowl structure until you are going up it. So I like Fiesta Texas better in that regard because you can actually see it as you're flying towards it at 60 miles an hour. This one you can't see it until you're already in it. Now I do like those rings that are around the non-mid-course. Still don't know why Flight of Fear puts brakes on that, or don't know why it slams you to a stop. So I'm about to do Superman Ride of Steel. This will be coaster number 225 for me. So making this the landmark one. Not a big milestone. And Batwing, that's not a good sign. I saw it stuck on the lift hill. And it says until further notice. Yeah, that's definitely not a good sign. I'm worried this might be closed. This one might get torn down in the off season too, just like Firehawk last year. It's too bad, then we'll only have Carowinds one left, if it even survives the off season. Intamin's done it again. That was a great ride. I see the ways that it could have been better. That airtime hill right there is surprisingly kind of weak. A little bit of airtime on it, but it's very mild. But after the helix, after the first helix, there is an airtime hill in between the two helixes that is incredible. And then these three airtime hills at the end are great. See, is that it? I believe that's the really good one. It was strong ejector. A helix is nice, but it didn't need two helixes. I guess it did make the ride longer. But then these airtime hills coming up, these are amazing also. And the fact that you get three in a row, the ride certainly ends with a bang on that. I just did Roar. It's a GCI wooden coaster. It's my 6th GCI. And the airtime was mild to non-existent. It's not really bad. It's got a little bit of roughness to it, but it's the kind of roughness that I like. It's a Prowler's kind of roughness. The only thing is that Prowler has amazing airtime and rapid transitions. This has mild to non-existent airtime, and their transitions between elements are just really slow. It's like really drawn out to get from one element to the next, is how it feels. So if this is a clone of the one that was in Northern California, then I can see why they RMC'd it. So with 2 closed coasters in the park, I only have one more to do. saving the best for last, the Vekoma SLC. I've done my third SLC, and this one wasn't so good. I've enjoyed the other two that I've ridden at Wild Adventures in Magic Springs, but this one was definitely a lot shakier. It threw you around more. Got some headbanging, even though I kept my head forward. It still got a little bit of headbanging. But those head restraints really aren't that hard like the B&M ones, so I wouldn't say the headbanging hurt. It was just uncomfortable. Yeah, I kind of like the layout. It just, this one doesn't ride nearly as smooth as the other two that I've done. But I still wouldn't say it's bad. It's just not all that good. The other two I would say was a good invert. Not a great one, but a good one. This one is just, okay. So Batwing and Ragin' Cajun both closed on me. And Batwing looks like it'll never reopen. This one, I don't know what could be the problem on it. I think they're just choosing not to operate it for whatever reason. Six Flags thing, slow day. I'm glad they closed that one instead of something like Superman or Wild One. Okay, what in the world? I just rode Superman back row. The ride up did not staple me. I had tons of room. That has got to be the craziest airtime I have ever experienced on any roller coaster. I am not joking. That ride that I just got, this is better than Mako. This is better than Goliath. This is better than all the B&M hypers, other than Fury. Of course, it's also a Giga. But my goodness, that airtime hill in between the two helixes, that was probably the strongest moment of airtime I have ever had on any coaster. And these three here at the end were pretty close to that. I mean, yeah, it has that dead section with the straight track, and the helixes kind of seem a little drawn out, but that's okay. As far as I'm concerned, it all works. It builds up the anticipation, does something completely different, and then you're going into more crazy airtime. And yeah, in the back, I did get a quick little pop of airtime leading into the first helix. So 7 airtime moments on it. Again, not as many as you get on the B&M hypers, but the quality of the airtime on this just blows all B&M hypers out of the water. And I did front row ride earlier, so I've done front and back. I'm a big fan of this. I had tempered expectations for this. I wasn't expecting to think much of this. I figured it'd be, below Apollo's Chariot, below Diamondback and Intimidator. No, this is far above those. Like I said, even above Mako and Goliath. Okay, if you want some serious airtime, these water slides right here. Try not to get anyone in the shot, but you get some crazy airtime on this. I felt like I was so far up off the slide and then coming down on it. Right next to the big funnel thing. I guess that's what it's called, a shark attack. The one on the left, the green exterior and the white Yeah, green on the outside, white on the inside. That one is the one where you get 2 moments of just crazy airtime. The orange one, you get 1 moment of pretty decent airtime. You saw that kid come flying off the slide. You feel like you were way up off the slide. I worried whenever I was landing whether it was gonna hurt. It didn't. It was fine. Okay, I just rode it in the front row, and it was even worse than the back. Oh my gosh, this thing is such a headbanger. It is terrible. In fact, I'm ready to call it. This is my least favorite coaster I've ever been on, at least of active coasters. There's just so much headbanging on that throughout the whole ride. It's just not good at all. The fire effect is cool, and the vertical loop is pretty good, except I even got some headbanging going into the loop. And I tried my usual thing to grab the restraints and lean my head forward, and that works on a lot of B&Ms, but not this one. It did keep me from getting smashed around in the side of the head, but I still got it in the ears, and that still hurt. This is definitely the worst headbanger I've ever been on. See, with the Vekoma restraints on the SLCs, at least the padding by your head is soft, so it doesn't hurt that much if your head hits into it. But these restraints, these are even harder than normal. Been on a lot of B&M coasters, and I often refer to those restraints as bricks. Well, I think these really are bricks. They are so hard. I felt them. They are rock hard. But my goodness, Superman ride of steel. In the front row, I would say it is, or the front part of the train, I would say it's not quite as good as the best B&M hypers, Mako and Goliath. However, in the back row, this is better than Mako and Goliath. And I'm actually okay with all the one train operations because I don't know how much more of this I can handle. That was 8 rides in, and I may need to quit. The airtime is so crazy, I don't know if I can handle anymore. I may need to take a break for a little bit, but park's about to close in I think another half hour or so. So that'll do it from Six Flags America. I enjoyed the visit. It was a lot of fun. Now you hear some negative things about this park. I didn't really see any signs of that, but maybe I possibly could see potential, but that just wasn't the case here. At least not today. Good day. Had some good coasters. A wild one was a lot of fun. Of course, Joker's Jinx, I loved it, and Superman Ride of Steel definitely blew away my expectations. I was expecting it to be pretty good. I wasn't expecting it to be excellent, top 20 worthy. It probably won't stay top 20 as I go along this trip and get a lot of new ones in, but for now it is. Some of the jokes that get said about this park, some of the criticisms, I didn't really see that here. Maybe it could be that way on some days, but it was great today. So, I highly recommend coming to Six Flags America. I don't think you need more than a day here. I spent some time in the water park, just as a bonus. It's not anything special or spectacular or different, other than that one that I showed you with those airtime water slides. That was pretty cool. I've never experienced anything like that before. It's not something that many people would talk about, but it's definitely worth talking about because it's unique and different. But other than that, all these big water slides that you can see like around here are nothing any different than you can get at a lot of other water parks. But it's something else to do, a way to cool off when it's warm. Today was a little bit warm, but I'm from the south, so warm to me is going to be extremely hot to people around here.